Hi, I'm Lucas and welcome to TOEFL Tuesdays at Magoosh. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the speaking topics on the TOEFL. So before I actually talk about the topics, first understand that there are 6 speaking tasks on the TOEFL. And they're always the same types of questions. That is, question 1 in the speaking section of the TOEFL is the same type of question on every version of the TOEFL. So if you take the TOEFL 4 times, you will see the same type of question in question 1 on the speaking task every time. Now, there are actually 2 very different types of questions that appear on the test. Tasks 1 and 2, the first 2 tasks, are what we call independent tasks. That means that they are just about speaking. They only test your speaking ability independent of other abilities. But the other tasks, 3, 4, 5, and 6, are integrated. That means they integrate reading and listening skills as well as speaking. So we actually have some speaking topics that are not just about speaking. They're not just speaking questions. They're also reading and listening, right? So it's a little bit tricky to talk about those topics because if you have a text or a recording and you're going to listen to that and read that before you talk, then the specific topic really depends on what was in the text and what was in the recording. But let's go back to those independent topics. The independent questions ask you about your personal opinions and your experiences. There are 2 questions there. The first one asks about something that you choose, say for example, a friend who had an influence on you when you were growing up. And you choose one friend from that group of many friends in your life and you talk about that friend. The second question asks you to choose between 2 things. It asks you whether you agree or disagree, whether you prefer black or white, cats or dogs, some choice between 2 things. Now, for those 2, you can get speaking topics online. If you just Google TOEFL speaking topics, as you might have to find this video, you will actually find lists of speaking topics from the independent tasks, from tasks 1 and 2. And in fact, the best way to find speaking topics for task 2 is actually to use the writing topics from the official guide, because the independent essay in the writing section is very similar to task 2. Now, if you Google for examples of task 1 and you go to the official guide for examples of task 2, you might be stuck thinking, how do I find examples for tasks 3, 4, 5, and 6? If you Google, you can't find much because, well, you need listening and reading too, and they're difficult to create. The best place to find that practice is back in the official guide. There are practice tests in here. There's also other material, of course, in the book of 5 practice tests by ETS that are official, and companies like Magoosh also make practice questions with practice listening and practice reading to help you train for that. But there's no good free material for the integrated tasks, unfortunately. So that pretty much describes all you'll see on the TOEFL speaking and the types of topics. By the way, those integrated tasks are about lectures and conversations, all, as the TOEFL always is, in a university setting. So it's about things you hear from professors talking or people at college talking with each other. That about explains it, and that's all for today. Thanks for watching.